What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Forecast. Here we got a new week. Finally, Aaron is going and out to sea. I'm here with meteorologist Christy Stewart. I say that because I feel like we were tracking that storm for what, 2 weeks?
It was.
Maybe
That's all that we
2.5
talked
weeks.
about. I think this is our first Beyond the Forecast.
This is the first Beyond the Forecast.
It's quiet,
I was
and
just
we're
about to say
not
that.
talking about Aaron, which is crazy.
I was just about to say that. The storm made a whole loop,
Yeah.
too. Like, it essentially started off the coast of Africa, moved kind of near the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, South Bermuda, all the way up the East Coast.
Yep.
And when it was off the East Coast, too, it didn't really start to speed up until it was, like, due east of us.
Yeah.
And then it finally started getting out of here. And now it's kind of approaching Europe, believe it or not.
The remnants of it.
The remnants,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah. So, but still, it's long life cycle. Crazy hurricane. I mean, at least it really wasn't terrible impacts. Like, it didn't make a direct landfall because it was a Cat 5 at one point. So that would have been catastrophic. But still saw some impacts here.
Definitely kind of dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Everybody on the Outer Banks, it seems that at least that we've interviewed with WAVY TV and people that I've at least spoken with, everybody kind of just like, yeah, this was just another storm for us, but we dodged a bullet 50 to 100 miles west. And this thing could have been way different. I mean, look at what happened in Buxton, south of the Oregon Inlet. Overwash was a huge problem. So that's crazy how like a storm that far off the coast could still do something like that for the Outer Banks, which they have problems with overwash all the time. But again, this is definitely a big storm. We're glad that it's over, and like you said, this is the first kind of episode where we're not really talking about a big hurricane, or Aaron in general.
Right. So very interesting, a little bit different. And at least now it's kind of, I guess you could say, the quiet after the storm. So we've got a nice quiet stretch that we are going to be moving into. Still active in the Atlantic. We do have a tropical storm that's out there. It's not going to be impacting anybody, but we are, oh, there we go. We popped it up right now. So that's Tropical Storm Fernand. That is to the east of Bermuda, and it's just going to be staying in the Atlantic. So we're really not concerned about that.
You can tell that it's so disorganized. Look at the shear. You can see kind of the light, like the grayer colored clouds kind of circulating. That's the center of the storm. All the, I guess, thunderstorm activity is to the, looks like south and extreme southeast side of this thing.
Right.
So it's getting sheared apart. There's not a whole lot of really moisture, it seems like, to go along with it. It's just kind of a mess of a storm. Still winds of 60 miles per hour, but that was as of the 11 a.m. advisory. I guarantee you when the 5 comes around, this will probably be a different story.
Yeah, that is pretty cool to see that image and see how you can tell how separated it is. And like we were talking about, I know at least in the early stages of Aaron, we were talking about how wind shear can kind of rip apart a tropical system.
This is a prime example.
Yeah, you can really see that clearly there. So that's at least some cool imagery to see. But yeah, it's just going to be tracking to the north, and right now it's moving north-northeast 13 miles per hour. It'll be moving to the north, staying as a, northeasterly, staying as a tropical storm and eventually dissipating. So really no impacts, just kind of a fish storm.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's too weak, too, to really send us any noticeable swell. I was kind of looking earlier. Surfers, this is not going to be, if it was maybe a little bit closer to Bermuda, we could maybe see a little bump from this thing. I don't think we see it. I think waves are going to be pretty small going for the rest of the week, which actually we, for swimmers' sake, we kind of need, because we've had the red flags going on pretty much all beaches on the East Coast for the past week and a half.
Yeah.
There's been no swimming, only for the surfers. ECSC had a great run of swell. Unfortunately, the conditions, the winds were kind of onshore, kind of just sloppy surf conditions, but at least there was something to kind of surf.
Yeah.
So they wrapped up competition yesterday.
Okay.
They had great waves the whole event.
That's
so
good.
Aaron definitely provided in that aspect. It doesn't look like we're going to be following up though with this storm. So again, this thing fizzles out as it moves north. I think by Wednesday, this thing's going to get just absorbed into the overall flow of the weather and cease to exist after the middle of the week. So for Fernand, not going to be much of a big deal for us. Which we'll get a little bit of a break here. I think we see probably a little bit of an extended break too, just because the overall pattern we're kind of going to be in in a big shield kind of bubble, so to say, as we go through the rest of the month and into the beginning of September. Obviously, September comes around.
Yeah.
We're looking at other places of the Atlantic Basin too, but
Yeah,
Still
and that's
something.
yeah, and that's the only thing that's out there now. I know earlier, at least this weekend, we are continuing to watch. There was a disturbance that was down south, kind of towards the Windward Islands.
Yeah.
That had a 40% chance,
Falling apart.
fell apart. So that's not a concern for anybody.
Here's the
either.
long range GFS. I mean, you can. It doesn't even really pick up on Fernand. It's just it's
Right.
that area just east of Bermuda.
Yep.
It's really not anything very impressive. If we go through the weekend, still nothing crazy going on. We got a little bit of moisture maybe off the southeast coast, but nothing defined. Kind of see a little trough there. Maybe probably a stalled boundary. Maybe send a little bit of swell, a little rain towards the southeast coast, Florida, maybe getting soaked as we head into next week. But otherwise, yeah, we're not looking at anything crazy, at least on the GFS. Let's see if the Euro is painting a pretty similar picture. There's just not much out there yet as we head into early next week. The Euro wants to see that little thing coming off the coast of Africa. There's a little wave maybe tries to form, but I think we're going to see a little bit of a down period before. And it's kind of weird to say that because we just went through Aaron, which was one long tracking. We just went over that and got to a Cat 5 at one point. It kind of felt like as this thing was north of Puerto Rico, like, hey, this almost feels like peak of the hurricane season.
Yeah.
We're tracking these storms coming off the coast of Africa. Obviously, we're a little early, and the signs are kind of still pointing to that. We're going to be pretty quiet, it looks like, for the next week.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, overall, it's been a relatively quiet hurricane season, which is kind of surprising, I would say. I mean, we're only on the F-named storm, and it's like the end of August.
Right. I mean, the water's super warm in the Atlantic Basin. That's, dust has been a little bit of an issue. Saharan dust for these storms. Obviously, we're kind of in that ENSO neutral kind of phase, so usually for an active season, think back to the 2020 season. That was the, most named storms on record. La Nina, so less amount of wind shear.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like we're kind of in this kind of season where it's just going to depend on all things aligning at once. That's kind of what we saw with Aaron, at least. Everything kind of aligning. So we're going to kind of wait for that to come back in alignment here. So, tropics looking quiet over the next week or so. Thankfully, no one's. I think other than surfers, I think everybody's pretty stoked on that. Obviously, we want these storms to stay well away if they do form. So, we're getting a little bit of a break. Here's one thing that I wanted to pull up really quickly before we take a break. Look at this is Buxton. They're still got sand on the roadways. You can see they've been kind of pushing towards the houses that are aligning the ocean. They're pushing sand back up, trying to
rebuild all the dunes and
their little systems that they have, mitigation.
Clear out the road. Yeah.
Still got a lot of sand on the roads.
That is a lot of sand. I'm kind of surprised that they still have a lot of the sand because I know they have bulldozers that they usually use to try to clear the road quickly.
I mean, they had full overwash in these areas. So it's a long process.
Yeah.
It's a really long process. It will probably take, another week for them to really, and I think these with, this morning we had high surf down there. I think it's going to take until the surf finally starts to relax because even though a storm moves through, like a storm as big as Aaron, it takes a few days for the ocean to kind of settle.
Yeah.
So that's what we're waiting for. And it happens this week. The surf is going to drop off big time. Our water levels are going to come down. No more nuisance flooding either. So in the next week or so, those areas should be all good to go. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will show more of these cams across the area to see what's going on right now. And we'll also talk about the cool down on the way and how it may feel like fall here.
I know a lot of people are excited about that.
Yes, a lot of people are excited. We'll talk about that coming up. All right, everybody, we're back. Aaron's gone. Fernand is off the coast. It's really weak. Those are not the big stories for our area, though. They stay. Those, the tropics are not a concern going forward, at least for the next 5 to 7 days. The real thing is going to be the potential cool down. And, well, not even potential. It's going to happen. Cool down and lower humidity.
So we've got a cold front that's on the way for us. That'll be moving through this evening. And then after that, we've got an area of high pressure that's just going to be set up over us for quite a while.
Giving us some calm weather.
Yeah, so that'll be nice.
Weather.
Nice weather, calm weather, low humidity, all the nice things that everybody wants. I think that it'll be a very nice week.
I was on the midday today, and Aisha Tolliver, one of our anchors, loves the fall. She loves it. She can't stop talking about the fall. Pumpkin spice, everybody. I think
is her season.
Someone said it last week. I think it was Regina Mobley. She was like, pumpkin spice, dare I say? And I'm the kind of person that's like, until it's September, I don't want to hear anything about pumpkin spice.
Right.
I don't want to hear anything about fall.
I know.
Because it's still August.
I mean, Halloween has already been out in stores forever, and it's like, I'm
I saw
already
that in
seeing
May.
some stuff
Someone said
that's
that.
like getting sold out. I'm like, it's not even September. How are we sold out of Halloween already?
I saw in May they started setting up Halloween. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
I love Halloween. That's my favorite holiday, but I don't want to see it in the stores.
No.
In the summertime.
And I feel like you always get this, at least in the summer. It can happen in July sometimes, and people are like, "Oh, the fall's right around the corner." I'm like, guys, let's settle down.
Let summer have its moment.
Let summer have its moment,
Then
because
we'll get into fall.
Yeah, and I feel like fall is, fall and spring, really, the transition seasons where things change pretty quickly a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I feel like fall, you really don't get to enjoy, like, peak fall. Like, what do you consider to be peak fall?
So I like the warmth. So for me, a peak fall would be like temperatures in probably the mid to upper 70s. Low humidity, maybe a nice breeze.
I think everybody can get on board with the low humidity side of things. Here's and I used to be on your side of it too, the warmth. I really like 60s, like crisp.
So when I think
low
of fall,
humidity, that's what
60s is what I more so think of.
That's what I think of.
But I like, my heart desires the 70s.
But here's the thing with the fall. Here's the thing with the fall, though. You don't get that stretch for very long. Like the summer, you can go 3 weeks of it being 90 plus degrees.
Yeah.
Or 85 plus degrees with high humidity.
Yeah.
In the fall, I feel like that, like, think of your fall festival, apple picking weather. I feel like that, because of the, quick change during the fall season, you don't really get to enjoy that side of fall for very long.
No,
I feel like maybe get a week.
Yeah.
And then you start going from like this kind of warmer stretch of fall. Boom, you'll have that peak fall weather.
Yep.
And then you'll start transitioning, you can notice, slowly into winter.
And that's kind of how spring is too, I feel like,
the
out
opposite
here.
direction.
Because like in spring is when, at least for me, I'm always like, okay, there's like one solid week where I can go outside, prep the yard for stuff before the mosquitoes come out and before you start to get all the humidity, and it's like just gross to be outside. There's like a peak week. That's about it.
That's what I'm trying to get at here. So like, that's why I'm saying, like, we don't need to rush fall. Let's summer's still here. Let's not rush fall, because once fall gets here, it changes so fast that it's gonna be gone before you know it. And I feel like a lot of people feel like, at least for me, it's my favorite season. Like, it's definitely my favorite season.
There's a lot to do in fall.
Lots to do. There's lots going
Definitely
on.
Nice.
I'm a college football fan. Go Penn State. We both went there.
We did.
So like, that's exciting. Get to watch.
And we're both wearing kind of blue and Penn
there we
State
go.
representing. Yeah.
I know not everybody in here is probably a Penn State fan, but we are. We're gonna get into some of these cams here.
Yeah.
So this has been kind of the story of the day. A lot of sunshine, a few clouds you can see towards Yorktown, and then Rodanthe, kind of the rougher surf. Waves breaking on the outer sandbar. It's a lot smaller than it's been the past few days. A lot smaller than it was this morning too. So the high rip current risk for the rest of the day. Don't worry though, for swimmers, this does get better. Tomorrow we should be able to lighten up on the swimming, or at least the risk for rip currents, because the swell is pretty much fading. The Nag's Head cam here, that's salt on the lens still.
It needs to be cleaned.
It does, because they had northeast. I was here actually at Jeanette's Pier on last Thursday when the storm was just offshore.
Yeah.
And the wind direction was going right into the camera, so it was just blowing all the salt.
Yep.
After my day of going live, I just felt it was just salt all over me.
Yeah.
I could feel it. So the cameras are all kind of salty there at Nag's Head if they were facing the wind. Here's Tower Cam 10. Looks nice. A couple clouds.
Yeah, not seeing a whole lot out there. And the cold front that's moving through, there's not really a whole lot of moisture associated with it. So you're not really going to be seeing a whole lot. I mean, we'll see a few passing clouds, maybe a spotty shower, but I think that's probably about it.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot. Yeah, you can see that surf is still looking a little bit
rough. They're
out there.
letting people swim though in Virginia Beach. It doesn't look like too far. It looks like they're kind of keeping them at a
closer,
closer kind of towards the sandbar, not out past the breakers. A couple waves there for surfers. It looks like there's a little lineup at the end of the First Street Jetty. Let's go to Avon Pier. Definitely some bigger surf down there. You could see on those kind of outer sandbars. This is what we're talking about. As the cam pans over, you could really see it. There's some larger sets out there. The surf is a lot bigger than it looks too, because these cameras are so far away and kind of wider angles, so it doesn't, it doesn't do it justice. Those are probably easily head-high waves breaking out. That's actually really good for surfing. Those are a couple of really good waves for surfing. But this is why we have that high rip current risk still kind of going for the rest of the day today. But as I mentioned, it gets better. As we go kind of forward, the surf really drops off heading into tomorrow. We're going to dive into the radar. Not a whole lot going on right now, so that's at least nice. There's a couple showers off towards, in mainland Dare, towards Manio. There's some downpours kind of here and there. Route 264 and Route 64, it's kind of just, south and then west of there at the moment. Not really affecting too many people. I mean, mainland Dare, a couple areas getting a little downpour, but that's pretty much all the rain we have kind of associated with this front.
Yeah.
That's, going to be passing through. This is more so going to be an air mass shift kind of a front, not so much a storm producer.
Right.
So we'll be watching that.
Yeah. So definitely not expecting a whole lot of activity
anything
out here.
huge.
Yeah.
So here's kind of the setup. We've got, again, that front's going to be sliding its way offshore. High pressure is going to build in from the west and pretty much settle in west of the Appalachians, kind of towards the Appalachians, and allow us, since we're on the east side, to get that northerly flow.
Yep. So
that brings in the cooler temps.
Yep. Cooler temps, low humidity, all from up north down towards us. So that'll be bringing us that fall-like feel. And that high pressure sits there for a while.
It does. It does sit there for a while. Temperatures, I mean, we're probably going to get to around 86 today, maybe a little warmer in some spots. Look at the temps next couple of days. Either side of really 80 degrees.
Yeah.
I think Wednesday is probably our best chance of staying in the 70s.
Yeah, and our average is kind of what we're seeing today in those mid 80s. So it's definitely staying below average for quite a while. So I mean, I don't think that's too bad of a forecast. 80s, low humidity.
I will take this.
Sounds like great weather to be outside.
I feel like I'm like most people. I don't like the.
Right.
I love summer. Everybody loves summer, but I don't. Yeah. I don't want the oppressive humidity. Like,
no, our summer was rough this year.
It was. It was a little bit rough with the. And speaking of the humidity, it's all dew point related. The higher the dew point, the more uncomfortable it feels outside.
Yeah.
Look at this. So we kind of, go through this evening and overnight. Watch as the front moves through. Boom. 50s for dew points. Tomorrow morning early. This is going to be really comfortable.
Yeah, you're not feeling that humidity out there for a little while.
Morning jog is going to be great.
Yeah.
Take the dog for a walk. Be outside in general and just breathe in the fresh air.
It might even be feeling a little bit cool. You might have to grab a light jacket.
I mean,
right? Because we'll be waking up to those temperatures that are in the 60s.
Maybe not so much in the afternoon, but definitely in the morning.
In the mornings, like 60s at low humidity, it'll be a little crisp in the air.
Yeah, and so like this dry air's around. We're not going to see much clouds because high pressure's building in.
Right.
We're not going to see much rain because there's too much dry air. But also, with the lower dew points, that allows for overnight temperatures to fall pretty far. So it wouldn't surprise me if a couple of these nights leading up, really for the next week or so, we could drop down low 60s to maybe 50s for far inland areas. You got to be away from the water.
Yeah, no, inland, I would definitely say that we're probably going to hit some 50s in the overnights.
But I mean, look at this. This is 8 p.m. Wednesday, and we're still low 50. This is the dry category. It's 55.
Right.
We're below that for a lot of the year. That'll feel great.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Not feeling any of that humidity at all. If you have any plans for this week, even this weekend, I think it looks pretty good out there. So definitely probably plan something to do outdoors, have lunch outside, something like that. It'll be great weather for any of this. And
talking, upper 70s to around 80 for highs on, Tuesday. I think this model is maybe a little low for Norfolk, but you can get the gist here. Look at off to the into the northeast. I mean, waking up, Wednesday morning. Yeah, sure. Areas to the coast might be a little closer to 70, but inland areas will be cool. DC's in the 50s. Columbus, Ohio, 51. Syracuse, New York, 49. So we're starting to feel.
But just look at like how influential that high pressure system is going to be, because it sits up there and it's a good chunk of the U.S. that stays with these cool temperatures.
Yeah. And so this is kind of why we've got an upper level trough that's going to be hanging out, essentially a weakness in the ridge, the two ridges. So one of the ridges being, you can kind of see the orangey kind of colors towards Denver, Billings, Montana, and then one towards Bermuda. That's the Bermuda High. But you have this little dip here in the jet stream where these greens and these kind of brighter yellows are able to kind of drop down. That's the cooler air. And that's why we're going to be seeing, a stretch of below normal temps for, pretty prolonged period of time. This is still through Saturday and Sunday that we're dealing with this.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're staying pretty pleasant here for the next several days.
I think it'll definitely be nice. I think it is time for us to take another quick break.
Take another quick break.
And when we come back, we've got some more local forecast stuff that we can talk about.
Totally. All right. Stick around. We'll be right back after the break. All right, we're back. We're going to wrap things up with a little bit of, I guess, local stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of going forward, what can we expect? Breaking it down, Eastern Shore Peninsula, South Side.
Some hyper-local stuff for you.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that now. Let's see. We're going to take a look at the graph, kind of future track here, showing what we can expect the rest of the day today. The models have been pretty consistent on this. Maybe a slim chance of a shower today as that front kind of pushes through. There is a little bit of upper level energy here associated with it. This front, again, we're not talking big downpours. We're mainly talking, an air mass change. That's what we'll mainly see. But again, maybe a shower or two this evening, overnight, in between, kind of here and there with the clouds. Here we go, Tuesday, in and out of the clouds. Yeah. That's basically what we're going to be looking at. Cooler temps too, not expecting any rain. Clearing up, it looks like maybe later in the day on Tuesday. Yeah. And then into Wednesday, we're looking like much of the same. That front really pulls the clouds out of the picture, though, as high pressure kind of gets a little closer. So I think Wednesdays are sunnier day. Yeah,
Tuesday's kind of that transition period behind the cold front as that high pressure is moving in. And then Wednesday is where we really kind of start to see those full impacts of that high pressure system. So lots of sunshine out there. And I think we got temperatures, right? Or we're going to do futurecast and then temperatures.
We'll do temps. Yep.
No, that's okay.
We got our temps.
We've got all these things.
Tuesday. Here we go. We're getting to, maybe around 80 degrees for some of us.
Yeah.
Mainly for areas, away from the water.
Yep, upper 70s, about 80 degrees. Definitely can't complain too much for the day on Tuesday. Winds, 5-10 miles per hour, not bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Let's go to the peninsula here. Same thing, really. There's not going to be much difference between areas here with a setup kind of like this. Front kind of moving through. Do they see a shower to this evening? Probably not. probably more so cloud cover as we go through, Tuesday. It's going to be in and out of the clouds, though. It's not overcast by any means for your Tuesday. And then into Wednesday, same deal. We start to clear the clouds out even more, similar to the Eastern Shore. We're looking at a lot of sunshine and clear sky late Wednesday, and then into Thursday.
Yep.
Here's your highs. That's Eastern Shore. What am I doing? Here we go. Here's Tuesday for the peninsula. Around
Low
80
80s.
degrees.
Yeah, not
Northeast
bad.
wind,
I
5 to
think
10.
that's pretty much like you said what we're going to be seeing all
Yeah.
around. Maybe a couple of spotty showers out there this evening. About 80 degrees for the day tomorrow. 5-10 mile per hour winds.
We'll roll through the south side
Yeah,
here.
there's south side.
Nothing,
maybe.
nothing terrible. Clouds overnight, maybe a few. Again, really
Yeah.
slim chance for a shower. I think it's mainly in North Carolina and maybe the peninsula, though, as the front kind of pushes through. Tuesday, there we go, in and out of the clouds. There's going to be breaks of sun. And then as we go into the day on Wednesday, we're much clearer. Maybe a shower. This model wants to throw in a shower. I
that
think
is
it's going to be
interesting.
I think this model is probably wrong with that. I think it's going to be too dry
Yeah,
for really a lot of rain.
to see anything really pop up.
We're just not going
Yeah.
to really have the lift. I think the model is kind of assuming that the sea breeze is going to do it, but
Right.
I don't think there's enough moisture. I think the high pressure overhead too, sinking air. There's just going to be too many limiting factors here. But here's the forecast for Tuesday in terms of those highs for the south side. Again, low 80s, upper 70s for the ocean front, and maybe Virginia Beach.
Yep.
Otherwise, that's what we're kind of expecting there.
Yep.
North Carolina, I think, let's see what this model has a little bit more activity in terms of rain for the rest of the day today and into tomorrow, especially for the Outer Banks. Could maybe get a little bit of a rumble of thunder or two, some downpours here and there. But as we go through Tuesday, much drier day. More sunshine, too, than areas north. I think south of the state line Tuesday, it's a little bit of a sunnier day, more so mostly cloudy. We've got our timer going.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up, and we will be back tomorrow, of course.
You got viewer questions?
Yes.
Send it in. We're in a bit of a quieter stretch, but yeah, with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
We'll see you all tomorrow. See you later.